extra checkout pages. You can have a single checkout page if you want, or what we're doing now is putting the payment form at the bottom of the review step. So when it comes to PCI compliance issues, it's a lot easier to get the credit card data straight from the form submission to the processor and not have to go through Drupal's form cache like we do on Drupal 6. We're also defining a page specifically for redirected payment methods. I know that in Europe, most sites use some sort of a redirected service where you go away for payment and then come back to the checkout process on the site. In the US, I guess we use PayPal Website Payment Standard, Google Checkout, Amazon Payments, and that's probably about it. There might be a few others. But in UberCart, there was no place for them to come back to. So now we're actually defining a page so that this redirected step is actually part of the checkout process. So Drupal Commerce knows that you are away at payment and is expecting you to come back to the same page, and then we'll update the order whenever you return with a success message from the payment provider. Now, as I go through the checkout process, let's choose my country. This address is being provided by the address field module, which will change the whole field based on your country. This is my actual address, so please don't mail me any hate mail. And let's go to the review step. So now I'm at the review order page. You can notice there's a review order page here that should have a review pane and a payment pane, which we do, review and payment. But even better, if you come to the orders page, you can see that my order is going to be updated with a different status for each step in checkout. So now you can actually view through the UI where different people are in the checkout process on your site. You can filter by this, you can find how many people get stuck in checkout at certain steps. But also, if I were to try to maybe manually browse to a page that I don't have access to yet, it's going to either give me a 404 or I think we have an issue for redirecting to the proper page for the order status. So as I go back and forth through the form, it's going to be updated. If you do try to check out on the demo site, you just have to put a name in here. There is no required thing here, sorry, it's just a sort of a demo payment module. But once you finish checkout, of course, you get the checkout completion message. I'm done. The order should now show up as checkout complete. Let's see, let's refresh. Hey, checkout complete, all right. And I can no longer browse back to the previous checkout pages. If I were to refresh, say, or browse manually to the review page or any of the other pages, it's going to detect the status of my order that I'm trying to reach and say, no, that's not possible. Also, if I'm trying to go to somebody else's checkout form and check out their order for them, it won't let that happen. What is important is that the customer can visit the completion page in perpetuity. Meaning even as the order status gets updated to later statuses, this completion page is still available in case they were to refresh once the order is no longer in the checkout complete status. Or what's going to happen is rules will be implemented to move away from the checkout status to pending or payment received or completed once they complete the checkout form, and you still want this page to be available to them. You can also notice that the order ID is visible in the URL. The order ID, you may be thinking, well, if every shopping cart is in order, that number is going to go up really fast and I'm going to have big holes in my order view. But we have separated out the order ID from the order number, so you can actually have serial order numbers that don't have gaps in them for shopping carts that were never completed, or you can have some sort of an alphanumeric random string that you use for your shop, or we will have the way for you to use tokens to maybe have a specific token for the order number, maybe based on some field in the customer profile or something else. I did not demonstrate that. I wanted to. Let's go do it real quick right now, because this is really, really exciting. You have different customer profile types. By default, the customer module is defining a billing information profile. The shippable product module will also have a shipping information profile. And I can come in here and look at the fields that have been attached to this. I've already put a name, an address, and a phone number field. But a lot of stores need to collect a company name as well. So if I just add a quickie little text field, save this, I won't make it required because some people don't have businesses. Then if I come back to my product catalog, oh, that's not a URL. Alright, so if I add something to my shopping cart and proceed to checkout, the same company field is now going to appear in the checkout form, and that data will be available to any of your order administration views, any of your templates that you're using to create invoices and other things, and it's also going to be, I guess, in the database where you'll need it to do your exports, and it's going to be there in the same, I guess, using the same sort of joins that all your other fields are. I don't know what the word is. I'm missing it. So if I were to come through to the view page again, you should be able to see in the address field area, oh, my company I should actually put in. All right. So what's in, well, obviously I would adjust the display settings and get it to appear properly if I were doing this for real. But in UberCart you would have had to have implemented a custom checkout pane virtually that duplicates the normal checkout pane and then has its own theme function, and then you have to implement a hook order to save the data, and then another hook to present the data, so it was a really complicated process. Now I just did the same thing in like 2 minutes through the field interface. So it's really like magic. The problem with how fun this is that you can sort of get the feeling that you're done sooner than you actually are done. So to me, I'm like, wow, this is so much better than what we've been doing for the last couple of years. I just want to start using it, and I forget that there's still large parts of this that have not been developed yet. So we still need to finish the customer module. We still need to flesh out the payment module. If you were to come, you can actually view a list of customer profiles that get created during the checkout process. But right now it's not using your previous profiles. If available, it's not keeping revisions of these as they're being modified. So there's still work to be done there. And there's also work to be done on the order view page, because right now all it does is list out the line items that have been purchased. The actual customer information is not being displayed yet. Actually have a patch in progress that will do that. But there's still work to be done basically on the order interface, the customer interface, and payments. And then also there's only one module in the Alpha 1 that has not been begun yet, and that's the shippable product module to add weight and dimensions fields to your product types, so that shipping modules have that data to calculate shipping and calculate packing and all that stuff. But that's just going to be a matter of implementing some fields. No core systems are really affected there.